Good morning. My name is Reverend Ron Card, and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you here to the Sunday morning message. It's a beautiful morning out there. It's going to be warm. It's going to be beautiful this Sunday. Our deepest fears is that we are not inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And that was by Marianne Williamson. And my question is, when do we come to a point in life where we begin to realize that we can do, we can be, or we can have whatever it is we choose, as long as it doesn't harm you or anyone else? Where we begin to realize that it is a matter of just right thinking. In the Science of Mind textbook, on the very first page, on page 25, Dr. Ernest Holmes says that we see abundance in the universe. We cannot count the grains of sand on a single beach. The earth contains untold riches, and the very air is vibrant with power. Why then is man weak and poor and afraid? I was raised and taught that God is actually outside of ourselves. That gray-bearded, gray-haired man that is in the sky, that's on the clouds, that's got a staff, and he's just kind of looking down. That we were actually separate from God. But what I have come to realize, especially through this teaching, is that I was born in the image and the likeness of God, and that we are not separate from God. God is within each one of us. God is within us, and if we have this power that is within us, that is God power, flowing through us as us, my next question is, why are we weak and poor and afraid? And why is it that we suffer? Why do we push our good away from us instead of attracting that good into our lives? In March, we began our journey. We opened ourselves to the highest possibilities for our lives by living in a question. We began a spiritual practice called visioning. And this is where we become quiet, we become centered, we become receptive, and we're in the here and now. We ask questions like, what does Spirit see for this? Or what must we let go and release in order for this to unfold into our lives? And then we become quiet. We become still. And what we do is we just listen. We listen to that power within, to guide us, to give us direction. Directions from the questions that we've asked. And our vision begins to form. And it becomes clearer and clearer. And then we continued our journey into this month. We continued our journey and we live from our vision redefined. What must we be willing to let go of? We must be willing to let go of the life that we planned. And, to have the life that is actually waiting for us. Joseph Campbell said that. He said, we must be willing to let go of the life we had planned so that we can have the life that is waiting for us. What we need to do is to gratefully step out of what has been and confidently step into our greatness, excited to blaze a new trail of spiritual awareness. We must look at what we have learned thus far on our life's journey, and what gifts are we bringing to the new leg in our journey? You know, what will we be sharing with those who travel with us? Some good questions. You know, in the creation story, it says that God spoke its word within itself. Think about that. Spoke its word within itself. That's the thought. That's the thoughts that we think, which set the law in motion, which also is within itself. That law is the belief of whatever that thought or whatever it is you're thinking. And of course, the result was creation. You know, we create the same way. You know, we speak our word, which is within ourselves. That's the thought, that's thinking. Those are the ideas, which sets the law in motion, you know, which is also within ourselves. That law is our beliefs. The more we believe, the more it unfolds in our lives. And then what happens is through that, we draw to us that thought in form. That's how everything around us came into being. You know, we use the creative process to shape our human experiences in alignment with the whole, perfect, and the complete reality that we live every day. You know, I believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through the universal mind, which is the law of God. Do you realize we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thoughts and acts upon it? That is why we say that thoughts are things, and not just some thoughts, but all thoughts. And that is why we must be careful of what we are thinking, because it'll work both ways. If you're thinking something good, something wholesome, something hearty, something, you know, that you would like to attract to you, that will happen. But if you think negatively, if you think in anger or resentment, guess what? Those are the things you're going to be drawing to you through your experiences and through your conditions in life. You know, Michelle Obama said, you can't make decisions based on fear and the possibility of what might happen. You know what's going to happen. You know, nothing sounds easier than to change your thinking, you know, change your life. And yet nothing can be more frightening. I know it was for me when I first got into this teaching, and I heard that all the time. Change your thinking, change your life. But yet we stay comfortable in our discontent rather than to risk of stepping out in being that which we are called here to be. We all have a calling, but we must remember that each one of us has a unique purpose that no other person on this planet can fulfill. It's only ours. And we must be the person that fulfills that purpose. You know, if we choose to ignore our purpose, to live small, not only are we missing out, but so is the world. When we begin to realize that we are not separate, but a part of this huge ocean of everything, then we become enlightened. We begin to realize this through practice, and we remain awake and aware through more and more practice. That's what this teaching is. This is what life is. It's practice, practice, and practice. You know, when we step out of our comfort zones and we step up to our spiritual awareness, it is good to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. And as we continue on this journey, we step out into the unknown. Kind of sounds like a movie, huh? Yeah. We step out into the unknown. What will we be bringing with us? You know, what are we willing to leave behind? These are just some of the questions that you might consider asking yourself. You know, our soul has continually called to us. Be brave. Step up regardless of what others say or think. This is your time. You got to remember that life is about you. It's not about anyone else. It's about you. It's about how you react to life. It's about what you attract in your life. Ask yourself, am I living a life? Is my life fully? What would I be doing if I got it? As Marianne Williams says, each one of us has a unique part to play in the healing of the world. For me, the science of my teaching is the perfect roadmap for my spiritual, for my emotional, my physical, and my financial awakenings. It could be yours also. But remember, be strong in your conviction and stronger in your faith. Step out of your comfort zone and step up into who you have come here to be. Brene Brown says, daring greatly means the courage to be vulnerable. It means to show up and be seen, to ask for what you need to talk about your feelings, and to have hard conversations. An affirmation that I would like to leave you with is, I confidently step up and into my greatness. That's something you can say every morning or throughout the day, a couple of times during the day. I think it's a very powerful affirmation. And what I like to do is I'd like to thank you for joining me this morning. And please join us every Sunday morning. We have our Sunday morning meditation, and it's followed by our Sunday morning message, just like what I'm doing here right now. I'd like you to have a good rest of your day. Have a good week, and I will see you next week. Thank you.